La Grange resident charged with causing death by dangerous driving. Jermaine Anthony Wallerson, a 47-year-old resident of La Grange, West Bank Demerara, has been charged with the offense of causing death by dangerous driving. Wallerson appeared in court yesterday, Tuesday, and was granted bail. During the proceedings at the Vredenhoop Magistrates Court, Magistrate Rubindra Singh read the charge to Wallerson, who pleaded not guilty. He was subsequently granted bail in the amount of $150,000. The charge stems from a fatal accident that occurred on June 1, 2024, at New Road, Vredenhoop, West Coast Demerara, involving Wallerson, who was driving motorcar HD 3233. The incident resulted in the tragic death of 52-year-old Barrett Ramrady. The matter has been adjourned until November 4, 2025, as the court continues to address the case. Venezuelan national charged with murder. Jose Manuel Garvagel, a 25-year-old Venezuelan gold miner residing at Quartzstone Back Dam, Cuyuni River, has been charged with the murder of 35-year-old Yasber Alberto Rivero Sojo, also a Venezuelan gold miner. Garvagel was arrested on October 18, 2025, by a detective sergeant from the Bartica police station. He appeared at the Bartica Magistrates Court today, October 22, 2025, at approximately 3:35 p.m., where the charge of murder was formally read to him. The accused was not required to enter a plea to the indictable charge and has been remanded to prison. The next court date is scheduled for December 5, 2025, as the investigation into the case continues. Ministry of Foreign Affairs expresses concern over Venezuelan ambassador's comments. Newsroom reports, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation has expressed concern regarding recent comments made by the Venezuelan ambassador in Georgetown, specifically questioning the ambassador's lack of transparency about Mr. Nazar Mohammed's visit to the embassy of the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela concerning a visa application. The ministry highlights that this latest statement contradicts the ambassador's earlier account given during a meeting with the Honorable Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation. In that meeting, the ambassador confirmed that Mr. Mohammed had indeed visited the Venezuelan embassy and provided specific details regarding the documentation presented and the purpose of the visit. Furthermore, the ministry recalls that the ambassador stated the event referenced in the visa application was scheduled for July 2025, while the actual visit to the embassy took place in August 2025. This timeline was clarified directly by the ambassador when summoned for further explanation. The ministry regards the ambassador's subsequent denial as troubling and inconsistent with his previous statements. In light of these developments, the ministry reaffirms its expectation that all representatives of foreign missions accredited to Georgetown uphold the highest standards of honesty, professionalism, and respect for the norms governing diplomatic relations. An invitation letter related to this matter has been attached for reference. Ethnic Relations Commission expresses concern over racially charged statements. The Ethnic Relations Commission, ERC, has expressed deep concern over recent racially charged statements circulated on social media by Ms. Jennifer Ally, who has previously been cautioned for similar conduct. The ERC describes such comments as divisive, offensive, and contrary to the spirit of respect and harmony that the Commission advocates across all communities in Guyana. In its statement, the ERC reminds citizens that while freedom of expression is a fundamental right, it carries the responsibility to ensure that public statements, especially those made online, do not inflame ethnic tensions or undermine social cohesion. The Commission cites Article 146(3) of the Constitution of Guyana, which states that freedom of expression does not relate to hate speeches or other expressions, in whatever form, capable of exciting hostility or ill will against any person or class of persons. In response to the recent remarks, the ERC has issued a summons to Ms. Ally, requiring her to appear before the Commission at 11 a.m. on October 23, 2025, to address the renewed allegations of racially insensitive remarks. The ERC warns that failure to comply with this summons will result in appropriate action as outlined by the relevant laws of Guyana. The Commission reiterates that racial hostility in any form has no place in Guyanese society. It encourages citizens to use social media responsibly, to speak out against intolerance, and to promote messages that foster unity rather than division. The Ethnic Relations Commission remains committed to cultivating a society where mutual respect and understanding are the cornerstones of national harmony. Minister Walrond urges Guyana police force to regain public trust. News source Guyana reports Minister of Home Affairs, Wanaj Walrond, has called on the top brass of the Guyana police force to act in the best interest of the public in order to restore confidence among citizens. Speaking during an interview on 94.1 FM, the minister emphasized the importance of building a more responsive police force that addresses community challenges fairly. Walrond recently met with the Commissioner of Police and his commanders to discuss the way forward for the police force and to understand their challenges. She acknowledged that public trust in the Guyana police force is currently below acceptable levels and stressed the need for the force's senior officers to focus on regaining that trust. This message was delivered loud and clear to the commissioner and his commanders. You can't claim to have authority if people don't trust you. Otherwise, it's a police station where you just have to command. This is about partnership, and I told them they are undermining their authority if people can't trust you, the minister stated. Walrond highlighted that building trust between citizens and the police is a primary objective, even if it presents challenges. As a former magistrate, she believes that a genuine effort within the force and a cultural shift will contribute to a further decrease in crime rates. Addressing policing and enforcement efforts in a targeted manner enhances efficiency and builds trust. For instance, in the recent murder of a young woman in West Ruimveldt, the two suspects are already in custody, thanks to our Safe City initiative, which the police are actively using in crime fighting, she noted. With the use of cameras, human bias in identifying suspects is being removed. The minister also stressed the importance of fair enforcement across all segments of society. There has to be an across-the-board implementation of enforcement because different segments of society should not receive unequal treatment for the same issues, she said. Walrond explained that the police are currently developing strategic plans and standard operating procedures, SOPs, to address various situations, including the use of body cameras during traffic violations. She concluded by emphasizing that the leadership of the force must take greater responsibility in instilling confidence within their ranks, ensuring that they uphold the trust of the citizens they serve. Trial continues in March 2020 elections case with focus on Keith Lowenfield's testimony. The trial concerning the March 2020 general and regional elections continued on Wednesday, placing significant emphasis on a video interview featuring former Chief Elections Officer Keith Lowenfield. Sergeant Alwyn Jones, attached to the Criminal Investigations Department, CID, testified about interviews he conducted early in the investigation, which commenced after criminal complaints were filed. A video recorded on September 26, 2020, was presented in court despite objections from Lowenfield's lawyer, Nigel Hughes. In the recording, Lowenfield declined to respond to questions posed by the police. When asked if he understood the reason for his questioning, he admitted uncertainty but expressed a desire to know. The police informed him that he was under investigation for alleged election-related offenses. Throughout the questioning, Lowenfield repeatedly responded with phrases such as, "I have no comment," "I am not going to answer," and "I have nothing to say." When shown a document indicating votes from various regions in districts 1 to 10 and asked to confirm a stamp, he again refused to comment. The interview also covered inquiries about letters requesting election result reports and documents from GCOM Chair, Justice, Redid Claudette Singh. Lowenfield consistently declined to answer questions regarding the number of reports he submitted to GCOM or whether he received directives from anyone within the commission, stating repeatedly, "I choose not to answer any question." The court revisited an interview from August 20, 2020, involving Lowenfield, Enrique Levon, and Carol Smith-Joseph. Tensions arose when Hughes objected to the video being shown in the absence of Levon's attorney, UC Anderson. Ultimately, the court admitted 3 discs containing interviews recorded between August and September 2020. Aini Shah Mohammed, a witness in the trial, joined the interview and identified Lowenfield while providing testimony regarding events during the tabulation process involving him. Currently, 9 individuals are before the court, charged with conspiring to manipulate the election results in favor of APNU plus AFC, attempting to deny victory to the PPP/C. Those charged include former government minister Volda Lawrence, Lowenfield, Mingo, and former Deputy Chief Elections Officer Roxanne Myers, among others. The trial will continue on Thursday. New collateral registry now fully operational in Guyana. The newly established collateral registry is now fully operational, representing a significant advancement in transparency and security within Guyana's financial and business sectors. This announcement was made by Attorney General and Minister of Legal Affairs, Anil Nandlall, during his weekly issues in the news program. With the launch of this registry, individuals and businesses can now use movable property, such as vehicles, as collateral when seeking loans or credit. This includes transactions that have traditionally been executed through hire purchase agreements, bills of sale, or other forms of credit sales. The Collateral Registry operates under the Security Interest in Movable Property Act No. 20 of 2024. Nandlall emphasized that this legislation introduces a modern framework for the registration of security interests in movable property, marking a significant milestone in enhancing Guyana's business and financial regulatory environment. The Attorney General noted that the Collateral Registry initially faced technical challenges, but those issues have now been resolved. That registry was not up and running because of some technical difficulties. I am pleased to announce that as of today, Tuesday, the registry is up and functioning, he stated. With the system now active, bankers, retail suppliers, automotive dealers, and other businesses involved in credit-based sales can register their security instruments directly with the Collateral Registry. In a related development, Nandlall revealed that the Bills of Sale Act has been repealed. Previously, bills of sale were commonly used instruments for securing credit involving movable property, such as vehicles purchased on credit. Under the new system, these transactions will now be managed through the Collateral Registry, ensuring clear registration and enforcement of security interests. So you have a modern framework now through which you can access financing, and the banks, auto dealers, and businesses who are engaged in these transactions now have a modern framework within which they can transact their businesses, the minister explained. The Registrar of Commerce has been instructed to issue a public notice announcing the functioning of the Collateral Registry. Additionally, training sessions have been conducted for banking and commercial stakeholders, as well as staff members of the registry, to facilitate a smooth implementation and use of the new system. Guyana engages Suriname in search for missing fishermen. Authorities in Guyana are actively engaged with their counterparts in Suriname regarding 4 Guyanese fishermen who have been reported missing at sea. The situation has raised concerns following reports that a fishing boat sank in the Saramacca River near Larico on Saturday evening. On Tuesday, the Jamaican Observer reported that rescue teams in Suriname are searching for the fishermen, now feared dead. Minister of Agriculture Zulfikar Mustafa described the situation as unfortunate and indicated that local authorities are working to gather more information. Presently, I don't know the circumstances. I have spoken to our ambassador to get some more information. Hopefully, by the end of today, I can provide more details, the minister noted. According to news reports, police received a report early Monday morning indicating that the crew was seen floating on ice cubes. Witnesses in the area attempted to search for the missing men using their boats, but their efforts were unsuccessful. The National Army Marine Corps and Groningen Police have also been deployed in the search operations. The wife of the boat owner reported that her husband and 3 crew members were missing but did not disclose their names. She explained that her husband had departed from the mooring at Hulichsorg on Friday evening, October 17th, in a newly purchased and renovated fishing boat, heading for Paramaribo for a mandatory seaworthiness inspection by the Maritime Authority and the Ministry of Agriculture, Nature and Food Quality, LVV. On Saturday morning, her husband, identified only as RL, called her to report that the boat was taking on water and they were floating on ice. The call was abruptly cut off. Later that evening, he called again, asking her to quickly write down the coordinates because he wouldn't make it. Authorities later determined that the location she provided was over 100 kilometers offshore, directed toward the Atlantic Ocean. Minister Mustafa expressed his concern about the situation. We are very concerned because, generally, whenever our fisherfolks encounter difficulties like these, We tend to work along with our Coast Guard and other agencies to locate them. However, this incident took place in Suriname waters. I hope that the Surinamese authorities, who have sent out patrol vessels and helicopters, will be able to find these individuals. He added, I am hoping by the end of today to gather more information from our ambassador and then issue an official statement from the Ministry of Agriculture. We are optimistic that these individuals and their vessel can be found alive and returned safely. As of now, it remains unclear whether the missing fishermen reside in Guyana or Suriname. Tushin resident pleads guilty to 2021 murder during robbery. Big Smith News Watch reports Colin Jackman, a 24-year-old resident of Tushin, has pleaded guilty to the murder of 59-year-old amputee Keith Richard Hohenkirk during a robbery that involved the use of a psychotropic drug. Jackman entered his plea before Chief Justice, AG, Navindra Singh at the High Court in Demerara. He was represented by attorney-at-law Madan Kissoon and is scheduled to return to court for sentencing on November 19th. The prosecution is being handled by State Counsel Geneva Wills, State Counsel Christopher Belfield, and State Counsel Simran Gujraj. According to the case file, Jackman and Hohenkirk were acquaintances who lived in the same Tushin community on the east bank of Essequibo. About a week prior to the murder, Jackman and several accomplices plotted to drug and rob Hohenkirk using a substance known as Molly. On October 23, 2021, they mixed the drug into a bottle of Banco wine and brought it to Hohenkirk's residence. That night, they entered the victim's home, tied him up, and gagged him with a sheet and scotch tape. Jackman then struck Hohenkirk multiple times in the face and head while the others ransacked the house, stealing snacks, beverages, and cash from both the home and an adjoining shop. Later, Jackman and another accomplice returned to retrieve the wine bottle and discovered Hohenkirk lying motionless. Despite this, they proceeded to rob the shop again before fleeing the scene. Police discovered Hohenkirk's body the following morning, October 24, 2021, lying on his back with his hands and mouth bound, and the room in disarray. He was pronounced dead at the Leonora Cottage Hospital. After his arrest 2 days later, Jackman confessed to his role in the plan to drug and rob Hohenkirk and admitted to striking him during the incident. A post-mortem examination conducted by government pathologist Dr. Nihal Singh determined that Hohenkirk died from a subdural hematoma caused by blunt trauma to the head, along with compression injuries to the neck. Traffic enforcement conducted along Little Diamond and Heroes Highway. On Wednesday, traffic ranks from Regional Police Division 4 Foot B conducted enforcement exercises along the Little Diamond New Access Road and Heroes Highway, resulting in 27 errant motorists being charged for various traffic violations. The following offenses were recorded: prohibition of tinted glass, 7 charges; obscured ID mark, 4 charges; breach of prescribed fitness, 5 charges; failure to wear a safety helmet, 2 charges; breach of provisional license, 1 charge; no reflector mirror, 1 charge; unlicensed driver, 1 charge; breach of insurance, 1 charge; uncertified motor vehicle, 1 charge; driving a motorcycle without a safety helmet, 2 charges; driver carrying a pillion rider without a safety helmet, 2 charges. A total of 27 cases were made during this operation, highlighting the ongoing efforts to improve road safety and enforce traffic regulations in the region. Joint security operation at New Amsterdam Prison uncovers prohibited items. A joint security operation at the New Amsterdam Prison on Monday morning resulted in the discovery of several prohibited items, including improvised weapons, cannabis, and mobile phones. The prison search operation, conducted between 6 o'clock and 8:10 hours, was a coordinated effort involving the Guyana Police Force and the Guyana Prison Service. The operation was led by Assistant Superintendent K. Gravesandy, officer in charge of Number 1 Subdivision, alongside 38 police ranks. They were supported by Assistant Superintendent Crawford, officer in charge of the New Amsterdam Prison, and 17 prison officers. During the search, the team uncovered 7 improvised weapons, 17 packs of cigarettes, 7 cellular phones, 43 Ziploc bags containing leaves, seeds, and stems suspected to be cannabis. 21 lighters. The suspected cannabis was taken to the Central Police Station, where it was weighed, totaling 37 grams. It has been sealed and lodged as evidence for ongoing investigations. Authorities confirmed that the operation proceeded without incident and is part of ongoing efforts to curb the entry and circulation of contraband within the country's prison system. Vigilant Political Action Committee, VPAC, calls for reflection on social issues in Guyana. The Vigilant Political Action Committee, VPAC, has issued a statement addressing the recent social media scandal involving Jennifer Ally, highlighting broader issues of social behavior and cultural attitudes in Guyana. The committee emphasizes that individuals are profoundly shaped by their surroundings and the environment in which they are raised. The Guyana Ethnic Relations Commission, ERC, is likely aware of the controversy surrounding Ally, who previously faced backlash for making crude remarks following the death of Adriana Young. After that incident, Ally was required to publicly apologize, and many have since suggested she may benefit from professional help. VPAC points out that this situation reflects a larger societal issue rather than being an isolated incident. People are shaped by their surroundings, the committee stated. From childhood, we absorb the language, attitudes, and instincts of our families and communities. Behavior is learned and perpetuated, often in silence. VPAC underscores the historical context that has contributed to current societal attitudes, noting the lasting impacts of slavery, indentureship, and colonial divide and rule tactics. These factors have fostered unchallenged narratives and stereotypes about belonging, ownership, and social status, which continue to influence behavior and perceptions in Guyana today. The committee argues that these unexamined narratives manifest in various areas, including voting patterns and hiring practices. Slogans like One Guyana and social cohesion are viewed as insufficient to address the deep-rooted divisions within society. Too many Guyanese feel excluded and economically disadvantaged, VPAC stated. Political leaders, civic groups, the media, and everyday citizens must move beyond mere slogans. The discomfort of honest discussions is minimal compared to the cost of inaction. VPAC calls for a collective effort to confront and address these issues openly, advocating for a more inclusive dialogue that acknowledges the complexities of Guyanese society and seeks to heal the divisions that persist. Tragic bee attack claims life of contractor in Triumph. Police are investigating a tragic incident that occurred on Wednesday at Surat Drive, Triumph, East Coast Demerara, resulting in the death of a 29-year-old contractor and leaving another man critically injured after they were attacked by a swarm of bees. The deceased has been identified as Winston Semple, a contractor from Prince William Street, Plaisance, East Coast Demerara. His colleague, 40-year-old Glendon Simpson of Non-Perial, East Coast Demerara, remains hospitalized in critical condition following the incident. Initial police reports indicate that Semple, Simpson, and several other workers were engaged in road construction activities when they were suddenly swarmed by a large number of bees. In a frantic attempt to escape, the men scattered, but both Semple and Simpson sustained multiple stings. Public-spirited residents rushed to their aid, transporting the injured men to the Enmore Regional Hospital. Tragically, Semple was pronounced dead on arrival, while Simpson was admitted for emergency treatment and remains in serious condition. Authorities have processed the scene and are conducting further inquiries into the circumstances surrounding the incident. Semple's body has been taken to the Memorial Gardens Funeral Home mortuary, where it awaits a post-mortem examination. Bartica resident convicted of sexual activity with a child family member. Hanif Khan, a 42-year-old unemployed resident of 4 Miles Housing Scheme, Bartica, has been convicted of the offense of sexual activity with a child family member. Khan was arrested on July 1, 2025, and charged on July 4th by a detective from the Bartica police station. He appeared before His Worship Tariq Muhammad at the Bartica Magistrates Court today, October 22, 2025, at 1:30 p.m., where he was found guilty. Following the conviction, Khan was sentenced to 2 years of imprisonment, with the sentence to run concurrently. The case highlights ongoing concerns regarding the protection of children and the enforcement of laws against sexual offenses. Venezuelan national electrocuted at bachelor's adventure. HGP Nightly News reports police are investigating a tragic incident that occurred on Wednesday, October 22, 2025, at Bachelor's Adventure, East Coast Demerara, resulting in the death of 23-year-old Jesus Baggett, a Venezuelan national. Preliminary reports indicate that Baggett was cleaning his yard at his residence when he reportedly came into contact with an electrical source. Emergency services were called, but he was pronounced dead at the scene by a doctor. The body has been escorted to the Memorial Gardens funeral home, where it will await a post-mortem examination. Authorities are continuing their investigation into the circumstances surrounding this unfortunate incident. Government introduces ankle monitoring systems to combat domestic violence. In a proactive effort to strengthen interventions against domestic violence, the government is set to introduce innovative measures, including ankle monitoring systems for individuals who violate restraining orders. This initiative aims to enhance safety, accountability, and support for victims of domestic violence. Minister of Home Affairs, Wanij Walrond, discussed key strategies in a recent interview, emphasizing the importance of ensuring that citizens feel secure in their communities. The proposed ankle monitoring system will enable authorities to track the movements of offenders, sending real-time alerts if they approach restricted areas or come near victims. The ankle monitoring bracelet will allow for tracking, aiming to keep victims safe and enable quick responses to prevent further violence, Minister Walrond stated. Highlighting her priorities in her new role, Walrond stressed the government's mandate to provide a safe and secure environment for all Guyanese. People want to feel secure and have that standard of living where they can walk down the street with their children without worry, she explained. Additionally, the minister noted the implementation of the Safe City Initiative, which employs facial recognition, vehicle tracking, and license plate recognition to aid investigations. This system has resulted in faster responses from authorities and is designed to enhance community safety and prevent crime. Walrond also introduced an alert app that functions like a panic button, allowing individuals in danger to quickly contact security services for help. While these strategies are being developed, the minister highlighted the ongoing need to build trust between citizens and the Guyana Police Force, GPF. People want to feel that there is a police force they can trust, one that cares and will respond to them, she said. The Ministry of Home Affairs is also prioritizing the juvenile justice system, focusing on rehabilitation and reintegration programs that help young people rebuild their lives. Minister Walrond emphasized that addressing the root causes of crime, along with support systems and safe city initiatives, is essential for national safety. This comprehensive approach underscores the government's commitment to utilizing innovative strategies to ensure the safety and security of all Guyanese.